I mean, I've lost both eye sockets, but one was just because the guy was completely out of shape. There's a lot of similarities. One's a sporting event, one's sports entertainment. Talking about MMA, but you know, there's conditioning is kind of, I think, the key to everything. And the guy was out of shape. He was 6'8", 500 pounds, and I ran straight into what was supposed to be a clothesline. But he was so gassed and behind in the spot that instead of catching the meat of his forearm, I ran right dead into his fist with his momentum coming off of the ropes.
Oh, jeez.
Just blew my eye socket completely apart. And, dumbass me, I didn't know it for 3 days. But that's the kind of stuff that...
Did you have to get it operated on?
Oh, yeah. I've had them both rebuilt. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Is that when you had to wear the mask?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
you were just wrestling with a broken orbital bone?
Well, I'd already had the surgery at this point, but that was just... so that happened. That match happened. And like I said, back then, we didn't have doctors with us and trainers. So it's funny how I found out that my face was shattered. So I wrestled 3 more days. But every time
with a shattered face,
with my orbital socket blown out. So I wrestled 3 more days, right? And it's as stupid as it sounds. It's normal for our world back then. You worked hurt, or it's just the way you did it. If you could walk, you go to the ring, and I think that was part of the mystique of the guys. We're tough guys, and I think so. I work, and me and the Godfather, he's another wrestler, great dude. We were going to meet up after the show at some bar and hang out, right? And we were in Springfield, Massachusetts, and I'm looking for the bar, and I can't find it. And I give up. Once again, we don't have cell phones back then, so I give up. I'm going to go back to my hotel. So I'm driving, and I pass this hospital. I said, you know what? Something just ain't right. Because every time, I just like that, my face would just blow up. And I'm going to go in and get this. If there's nobody in there in the emergency room, I'm going to go in and get this thing checked out. So sure enough, I drive through, I don't see anybody in the emergency room, so I go in. It's midnight. I go in. They do a CAT scan. Doctor, he comes out and he goes, he says, do you have an ophthalmologist? And I was like, no. He goes, well, you need to find one. And you're going to need a surgeon, too. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, you've lost 50% of your orbital floor is gone. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay. So I go home. I call and say, look, I got to go home. I had this injury. So I get home. They do another scan, another CAT scan. They said, no, you've lost more like 70% of it.
Jesus.
So they end up doing the surgery, 2 surgeons, so they go inside the eyelid, make the incision. One surgeon holds up the eye and the nerve while the other one picks out all the pieces and puts in the mesh kind of thing that's going to be your eye socket. Come to find out, I'd lost 90% of my orbital floor, and my optic nerve was setting right on top of a piece of jagged bone.
Oh, Jesus.
If I'd have took another shot to that side of my head, I'd have probably lost the eye or my sight. And it's just because we didn't,
So your eye was just hanging on.
It was just hanging. It was just sitting on a piece of jagged bone.
And that would have been it. You couldn't have.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been. Yeah, I'd have been done. And so I had the surgery. So the mask, I healed. I don't know, maybe 6 weeks. Went and had the mask made and wrestled in that for a while and made it part of the story. And
so, what do they put back there? You said the mesh.
So my other eye that I did, they have it's titanium, but this is it's not titanium, but it's kind of a wire mesh that's it's screwed into into the bone, and it works as my orbital floor.
So you don't have an orbital floor in that eye anymore. You just have this wire mesh.
Yeah.
Is what it looks like.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like right
Yeah.
there. Do you feel anything back there sometimes?
Nope.
Nothing? Holy shit.
The second one, my right side, I had a blowout fracture, and funny enough, it was just a freak thing that happened. The smallest guy in the company, little Rey Mysterio, he's tiny, but he jumped off the top rope, and I should know, I should know what the move is, but I don't. Like right there, that's it, right there. See that? I set my nose, or I'm about to, because it broke my nose too.
Oh wow.
Man, you're good, man. James, you're fucking good.
Wow. And you still fought your way out of it. And
So
your
that
nose
was me
is pouring
grabbing it.
blood.
I was straightening my nose out,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh, yeah, right
Boom.
on your nose. Oh, Jesus Christ.
so I grabbed my nose right away, and I could feel that it was way over to the side. So I squeezed it back straight, but there was 3 of him,
Oh,
and
man.
so that one, it was just way back in the cone. It blew out the back end of it, and it wasn't as severe as the first one, but after the second one, left me with double vision. Like, if I try to, like, if I look peripherally, like, you become opaque. Like, I see 2. Like that, I see 2 lights when I look like that
Still to this day.
to this day, and that's been over 10 years.
And what did they say is the cause of that?
It's just the way the nerve was pressed, or, when the fracture happened, it pressed the nerve for too long, and it never kind of rewired itself.
There's nothing they can do about that?
Not that I know of. I hadn't tried. Like, as long as I look straight, I'm good.
But what if you have to do a U-turn? Or like, what if you're parallel parking?
Exactly. That's funny that you mention that, because I've got to literally turn my body so that I can get my head straight,
Wow.
so I can see straight.
Because if you turn your eye too far.
Yeah, everything, it just kind of, instead of that image, I got that image.
Wow.
And that had to certainly affect you in the ring a lot too after.
Yeah,